If your seedlings are starting to get cramped and begging for a little more space, it's time to level them up. Welcome back to Ray Ray's Garden, y'all. We're on this journey, learning how to grow from seed. And our little babies, well, they're growing up. They need more space, a little different care, so welcome to part 5 of this series, Potting Up. So why do we transplant? Well, our little seedlings, they're gonna outgrow that little cell pretty quick. When the roots start peeking out the bottoms or the leaves get too cramped, we need to give them more space and a little better soil to grow in. By transplanting them into bigger containers or potting up, we're giving them more space to grow and that much more chance of success. As far as when to transplant, there are signs that we can look for. Roots coming out of the drainage holes. When seedlings are about 2 to 3 inches tall and have at least 2 sets of true leaves. When the soil starts drying out too quick and more rapidly, which means those cells are probably all roots and no soil. You don't really need much to pot up. Honestly, you're gonna need pots, some type of better soil, and your hands. You're gonna wanna use 3 or 4 inch pots, or what I use, which are these cups. I've been using these cups for like 3 or 4 years. They're super cheap, easy to pop holes in the bottom, and disposable. Since they are bigger though, they do require a little bit more soil, but I don't mind. With a cup that size, I'm only gonna have to pot up once. As far as soil goes, a light, nutrient-rich potting mix works the best. I would definitely avoid heavy garden soils or even compost, because that stuff's just gonna compact. Even though we are upgrading our soil, we still want it to be airy and light and let a lot of air and moisture retain in there. I think I've been using this for about 5 years, y'all. This is Fox Farms Happy Frog, which is absolutely fantastic. It's organic, filled with absolutely wonderful things like mycorrhiza and lots of nutrients. And because I'm gonna put these right into my garden beds, I feel like a little bit of that goes in with every transplant. And I'm all about adding good stuff to my garden beds. I'm not gonna use any tools, y'all. I'm just gonna use my fingers, and I'm literally gonna transplant with them. So we definitely wanna moisten the soil before we use it, just like with anything. But one difference is, we definitely do not wanna use boiling water. There is a lot of beneficial microbial activity in here, and we would just kill it all. That's totally fine to do when they're little seeds, because we don't really care, but now we care. All right, guys, this is the fun part of the video where we actually get to transplant these babies. Step number 1, prep the pots. Ideally, you would want to fill each one of these about 3/4 of the way with some of that moistened potting mix. Or if you're using cups like I am, really fill those suckers up. Step number 2, loosen the seedlings. Okay, we want to be super gentle with these and go slow. Put a little music on, enjoy this next few minutes, and just be very, very gentle. Step number 3 is handle with care. Hold the seedling by its leaves, not the stem. This will help mitigate any damage. Step number 4, plant in the new pot or cup. Create a little hole in the new soil with your finger and place the seedling in. Gently backfill with soil until it's snug. You're gonna wanna transplant this guy very similar to how it came out of the seedling mix. This is a step I do get a lot of questions. Just remember that we wanna bury all the roots, and we also don't wanna get too close to the leaves. Try to play this step by ear and get as close as you can to where we found it when we first pulled it out. Step number 5, water thoroughly. I'm gonna give my seedlings a really good drink of water to help settle the soil and reduce transplant shock. Now that they're potted up, we're ready to put these guys back on the shelf. But they still need care. We still need the light 2 to 3 inches away, and they still need water and fertilization. These totes are awesome because they let the light in. They're great for bottom watering. They're super easy for carrying outside when it's time to harden off, which is coming up in the next and last episode of this series. As your seedlings grow, they might need some type of support, y'all. I use these gigantic skewer thingamajiggers. They're super cheap. I get them on sale when I see them, and they make fantastic little stakes. I'll also take a little bit of jute and tie them up as we go and just give them that extra support. Here's a list of common transplanting mistakes you're gonna wanna avoid. Don't overwater when transplanting. Just like in all of our stages of seedlings, check that soil, y'all. That is the true indicator if these guys need water. There's a little trick I use for peppers too that I learned from my mom like a million years ago. I always water peppers a little bit less. That forces the roots to have to go deep for water and they get stronger because of it. But I don't do that for anything else, definitely not for tomatoes, just peppers. Damaging roots. This is probably one of the most common mistakes to make. It's from going too fast. Just remember to slow down, take your time, and go easy with these guys. They're so gentle at this stage. Number 3, skipping transplant. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and checking your seedlings every day, you'll know when it's time. Don't put this off. It is kind of a pain in the neck in the winter to be out there filling pots, but it's so worth it, guys. If you wait too long, it'll be impossible to get those roots out without damaging them. So don't put this off, y'all. This is one of the steps in the process that does take a little extra time, y'all. They're gonna take off from 2 to 3 inch little seedlings into huge plants. So hang on to your hats and definitely subscribe so you don't miss part 6, the final of this series, hardening off. Help this video help others by hitting that thumbs up, y'all. And leave a comment with any questions or tell us how your operation is going. We'll catch you next time. Ray out.